I'm gonna do a follow-up video that we talked about with my wife, and we were talking about how we do passive income and how I started back in 2001, creating websites and blogs, and basically just, to me, started as a hobby. I was just trying to figure out how to learn how to do this because I see it on the forums, I see it on online on YouTube and everything, and I was wondering how I can actually do this that these people were talking about. So I started doing this, and I picked a niche that I knew a little bit about, but I'm definitely not an expert. I'm still not an expert on it. And I started writing, well, first of all, I did my research on the niche a little bit, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna start doing this right now. And it went fine. I learned a lot of stuff. I created my first blog, and next thing you know, I started making some money little by little. I started making enough I was like, well, with this I can pay my car insurance. Then I was like, I can pay for the car, I can pay for rent. And gradually it started going up, throughout the years. And for that reason, I'm gonna go ahead and do this video and show you guys how to start a website, what I do to do the research, what tools I use, register it, which is the people that you use or the company that you use to register your domain name, like your name.com or whatever it is that you want to register, and also the hosting and protecting your website from hackers and attacks and things like that. So go ahead and do that. A little bit of a disclaimer. English is my second language, so bear with me. I'm not fluent in English, even though I've been in the US for most of my life. So let's go ahead and look at the tools I use. The main tool that I use to do the research is called SEMrush. And these guys help you see, what keywords are ranking for, how many searches are, people do per month on any topic. So for example, I'm gonna do a search on passive income, which is what my website is related to right now. And as you guys can see right here, you can see that 74,000 people researched this keyword in the United States alone, and globally 154,000 searches per month. And there are 135 million results, and it pays $1.46 per click. This means that if someone comes to your website and you have an ad related to SEO or passive income, and they click on that ad, you get $1.46 for that click. But also Google takes their little share of that, and you end up with like 70% of that, so it will be like $1.10 or so per click. This tool also tells you the variations of that keyword and other ideas. Passive income ideas, for example, is another keyword right here. What is passive income, how to make passive income, and passive income ideas 2020. I prefer not to put, when I'm creating a website, like not to put any numbers in the website, because that number can change. Instead of 2020, we're now in 2021 and your content just became obsolete. Passive income revenue, those are related keywords right here, with a volume of 110 searches per month. You might think that these are not something that you want to, work with, but all of these actually have to do with this keyword here. So with the main passive income keywords. So you want to create blogs about this right here. Forms of passive income, different kinds of passive income. So in this case, let's say that this one here, passive revenue. So I can go to like GoDaddy or Namecheap or whoever it is. We go to GoDaddy and we do passive income revenue, and we can see what the passive income revenue.de. That's for Denmark. I'm not on VPN on Denmark. I don't know why it's showing me that, but either way, passive income revenue.com. It is available. Let me just type in .com over here. It is available for $14.48. And yeah, so you can go ahead and register this website. Another one is using Namecheap, which is what I prefer. I'm just gonna copy this over. Lazy. And so that was 1448 with GoDaddy. And with these guys, it's showing me in euros. Let me change my currency right here to US dollars so you can see that. All right, so now going back to registering your website, the reason why I pick Namecheap or GoDaddy is because I had this issue back in 2005, I think it was, or so, that I had a website registered with 1&1, and I did some changes to the domain name, pointing it over to a different IP address where my website was being hosted at, and they told me that this change was going to take 3 days, and it took 3 days for them to, do the changes and stuff like that. I don't know if it's still the same with them or not, but at that time I was like, you know what, I'm done with you guys and I'm out of here. I moved all my websites away from them. I was also hosting some websites with them. I had some issues with that too, and I started using GoDaddy back then. And recently I discovered Namecheap. Not recently, it's been like 5 years that I've been using them, and they have the same thing like GoDaddy, that if you do a change on your website, it goes immediately is active. But I do not use them for the DNSs. I move all the DNSs over to Cloudflare. Cloudflare basically manages all the traffic that goes through my website and secures it and makes sure that there are no bad people coming over to visit my website. The next thing that we're going to talk about is hosting. Hosting is where your website resides. All the contents, all the pictures that you upload, all the images, audio files, PDF files, and all the content that you write, it goes on the hosting. So hosting also requires, what we use to create the websites now is called WordPress, which is a content management system, a CMS. And it's free. It's free to use. You can use it right away. It's really easy to use. If you know how to use Microsoft Word, you know how to use WordPress. That's what I always say. The other thing that WordPress gives you is plugins that you can use to make your website look fancy, or have different tools that make your website more interactive with your users and things like that. I prefer not to use those type of plugins because they slow your website down. The more stuff you add to your website, the slower it gets. And one of the ranking factors from Google is speed. So you don't want to have your users waiting 2 minutes for your website to load up because you have a wiggly thingy moving around the screen that looks cool but slows everything else down, and they don't like that. People move away from those websites now. They don't like to wait, especially on mobile now. Basically, what Cloudflare does is that it gives you a DNS, and whenever you register your website with either Namecheap or GoDaddy, you can put those DNS settings in the back end. I'm gonna have another video showing you how to do that. That redirects your traffic going through Cloudflare and then reaches your server, and then it comes back through them and it goes back to your visitor. And that keeps your website very, very fast and secure. All right, so hosting. What do I use for hosting? I used to use share hosting when I started, and it was easy to manage. I mean, I didn't have to manage anything. It was done by the companies. And back then I used to use 1&1. 1&1, I think they changed their name now. I forgot what the name of the company is now. But they have a limit on the amount of visitors that you have per month. I think it's like 50,000 visitors, something like that. And I was getting like 500 visitors per day on my website, and they said that I was taking too many resources from them and that I needed to modify my website or upgrade my website to the next tier, which, back then it was costing me like $5 per month for the hosting, and they wanted me to pay like $20 per month. And I was like, that's crazy. You're telling me that I need to move to a higher tier because I have 500 visitors per month, where there are websites that have millions of visitors per month and they don't run into this problem. So they say, okay, well, you can also get a VPS, which is a virtual private server, and you pay more for that, but it's your own server that you control, and all the resources belong to you basically. And so I said, okay, well, let me look into that. And I did my research. I went to some forums, and they're like, yeah, don't do HostGator, don't do Namecheap. I mean, yeah, even Namecheap, I wouldn't use them for hosting. Do more like a shared private server. And I did my research on that, and I went with DigitalOcean. The other thing that Cloudflare gives you is an SSL certificate, and that will be this little thing right here, the little lock that shows that your connection is secure to the websites. And this is very good for keeping all the connections between your visitors and your website secure, so that there is not going to be a middleman trying to see what information is being transmitted between their computer and your server, so people can log in and buy things or whatever it is that you're trying to do with your website. And the other thing is that Google, one of the ranking factors that Google uses is a SSL certificate on your website. It used to be that an SSL certificate will cost you between $60 and name it. It will cost hundreds of dollars per year. And these guys are giving it to you for free. You can just go ahead and register with them, and they will create one for you automatically. You just kind of have to configure your WordPress site to work with an SSL certificate. Your hosting company, you got to talk about, you know, share hosting or dedicated servers or virtual private servers. What I suggest is you start with share hosting, of course, because you don't want to be spending a lot of money on a private server or dedicated server or even a VPS. You know, even though VPS can be pretty much the same price as share hosting, it is faster. It is faster. So if we look right here, I'm looking at share hosting with Namecheap. Their starting plan is ECWP. It costs $388 per month, and they tell you that you have 10 gigabytes of space on SSD storage, which is a fast storage, and you get a maximum of 50,000 visitors per month. Then the next year it's $788. You also get 50 gigabytes of SSD storage, and you get up to 200,000 visitors. This is I wouldn't choose any of this. I wouldn't touch this. The other one is GoDaddy. GoDaddy economy plan, it's $5.99 per month with a 3-year contract. So once you renew this plan, it's going to cost you $8.99 next year if you don't sign up with the 3-year contract. And basically you can have one website with this, guys, 100 gigabytes of storage. They don't indicate if it's actually a SSD or not. Unmetered bandwidth, which means you can have as many visitors as you want, and a total of 10 databases. 10 databases for one website, it's not necessary. You only need one database. It's ridiculous. The next plan up is $7.99. Standard performance, unlimited websites now, unlimited storage, 25 databases, unmetered bandwidth. So that's even better, but it's $7.99 with a 3-year contract, or you will pay $12, basically $11.99 per month once you renew your website next year if you don't sign up a 3-year contract. And you have to pay upfront. It's not like you're gonna, say, hey, I'm just gonna try it right now, and no, they want you to pay right now, and if not, you sign up for 1 year and you'll pay higher prices than that. So that's what they are. The next company is HostGator. HostGator have another plan where you can have one website, 100 visitors per month. 1 gigabyte of backups. I will do that. I will do that backup in 5 minutes. They give you a free SSL certificate. We don't need that. And they include also the domain. That's not even good because you want to have your domain name separated from your hosting always. And also, if possible, separate your emails from that too, where your email resides or whatever your email is going to be. You want to have it in a separate service because what it does is that it slows down your server providing pages for your visitors. The more stuff you run on your website, the slower it gets. The next plan, which is the one that they recommend, it's up to 2 websites, 200,000 visitors, 2 gigabytes of backup, the same thing as the other one here, basically. Like I said, share hosting is not great. But there's one company that I will suggest you probably use them, and it's Hostinger. Hostinger is a new company. They're not so new either, but they're one of the new kids on the block. And a single website costs you $1.99 per month. And these guys, I don't know what the deal is with the renewals, but they have a type of service on their server. It's called Hostinger Hosting uses Lightspeed, which is one of the better services out there that speed your website in the back end. So basically the server is the one that is doing all the work and generating the pages for your visitors, and they become faster, and that's really, really good. And I do suggest these guys, and they are the better of all of them when it comes to share hosting because they use Lightspeed services right here, which is this. And they also include Cloudflare, which is a free service. You don't have to sign up with them or through them. It's better to have it separated. And the plan with $199 it gives you 1 website, 30 gigabytes of SSD storage, 10,000 visitors per month, which is very limited. The next one up is $299, and they give you 25,000 visitors per month, which is still limited. This one here, $599, is 100,000 visitors per month, which is more adequate for a regular website. When you start creating content and you're getting visitors, gradually you're gonna get more visitors and more visitors and more visitors, and then you can either upgrade to a higher tier hosting or even a VPS, which is what I will suggest you do. So if you look right here, $599 per month. And once you renew, it will cost you $15.99 per month. Or if you sign up a contract, it will be $10.99 per month. So the prices vary depending if you sign up a contract or not. If you don't sign up for a contract, it's $15.99. If you sign up a contract for 2-3 years or whatever it is that they want you to sign up with, it will be $10.99 per month. Now, what I use DigitalOcean. DigitalOcean, what they do is that they have hundreds and thousands of servers, and they split that server in multiple virtual machines. And the term for VPS is virtual private server. What they do is they give me a CPU, they give me an amount of memory on that server and the amount of space. And I can do whatever I want to with that server. I can install Windows, I can install Linux, I can install whatever it is that I want to. And as you can see right here, it's $5 per month for the lowest tier. And they give you 1 gigabyte of memory with 1 CPU, 25 gigabytes of space. And they give you 1 terabytes of transfer per month, which is great. It's great. That's a lot of space for your traffic, basically. Then you can see all the tiers right here. I personally right now use this one here. This is the one that I use with them. 4 gigabytes of memory, 80 gigabytes of space. I have 2 CPUs, 4 terabytes of transfer per month. A lot of my transfer data gets done through Cloudflare, so I don't have to worry about it because they serve the website before it reaches my hosting company. So that space that it would be considered a transfer through DigitalOcean is being taken care of by Cloudflare. So that's another reason why you need to start using Cloudflare. Start with them at the beginning when you create your website. And they have different tiers, with NVMe SSDs, which is really fast. They call them hard drives, but they're not. It's a solid state drive, a solid state disk, and they're faster than regular hard drives. Back in the days, we used to use the rotating plates. Now it's all a microchip, and these are the better kind right here. The NVMe. You also have regular SSDs right here, which are a little bit slower, but they're still fast. And this is what these other companies like HostGator and GoDaddy and Hostinger were offering. They're using SSD storage. They don't emphasize on NVMe. These guys do talk about NVMe, and you can see they're faster. I mean, they cost more. They cost more because of that. They're way faster than regular SSDs. All right, so the next topic we need to talk about is if you were to sign up with DigitalOcean, what can you do with them, and why you will choose them over the other ones. And the reason is because you get your own little space on a server where you can control and you can set up whatever software you want to, and whatever panel you want to use with your hosting company. They usually offer cPanel, which is bloated with a whole bunch of other things that slow your system down. I use DigitalOcean, but I use another system that controls my server, because when you sign up with DigitalOcean, it's your server. You have to manage your security, you have to manage updates and everything else. Well, I pay another company to do that for me. They do the updates, they do the security, and they also install features that are related with hosting only. Nothing else. I don't have to do anything for my emails, because I don't host my emails with my hosting website company. I don't do anything else but serve the website through them. All right, so I know you're thinking, if I were to choose DigitalOcean, I have to keep up with the security, I have to keep up with the updates, and that can be really bad if you're not, an expert, or if you don't know anything about coding or managing a Linux computer, which is even harder than managing a Windows computer, supposedly. So, like I was saying, I pay someone else to do this for me, and it's really simple to manage actually, but I use RunCloud. RunCloud, I signed up with them a long time ago, and I have the Pro plan. I'm paying $10 per month, I think, but I get unlimited servers and unlimited websites and everything. Companies like this, they manage servers that you sign up with DigitalOcean or Vultr or Cloudways. There are other companies similar to DigitalOcean that you can use also, but these guys, they do all the updating and all the configuration for your server so that your server is snappy and fast, basically. The other company that I used to use is ServerPilot, and you can see here they charge you $5 per month plus 50 cents per app. An app will be a website like website.com, website2.com, website3.com. That's a different app and another app and another app. So it will be $5 plus 50 cents per app. I moved away from them. I don't remember why. I started using RunCloud, and I've been really happy with them. For the past 4 years or so, I've been using them, and they're great. They keep my websites up to date. I never have any issues. They add new features to my hosting too. The other company is Ploi.io, and these guys, you can get the free tier, but they only give you one website. So if you want to host more websites under that DigitalOcean VPS, you will be limited to one website, and they pretty much lock you down with that. The other company, which is free and you can set up when you sign up with DigitalOcean, it's CyberPanel. CyberPanel is just like the cPanel that they use with Namecheap, HostGator, Hostinger, and all the other companies that do share hosting. They use cPanel. This is called CyberPanel, which is a free version of that. And they also use Lightspeed services. This is called Open Lightspeed, which is the free version, but it has all the features. You just have to configure it yourself. But instead of configuring it yourself, you use CyberPanel, which, if you look at their pricings, free for life, right here. And whenever you sign up with DigitalOcean, you can go ahead and pick one of their templates to install CyberPanel. I'm gonna do a video about that too, and so you can set up your hosting with them. They also give you unlimited domains, unlimited subdomains, unlimited databases, multiple versions of PHP. You can also have LS Cache is the caching services for Lightspeed, which works on the server and it speeds your website like crazy. The other thing that the CyberPanel services give you is email, so you can have your email set up with them if you want to. I prefer to disable those services because I want my website to be just for the HTML files and the PHP code and only the website stuff, not related to email, not related to anything else, just that alone. All right, so once you have your website signed up, you set up Cloudflare, you set up your hosting, either through Hostinger or any of the services that we just looked at. I mean, I'm not an affiliate to any of them yet. DigitalOcean has great support. They also have all the templates available for you to set up most of the services. You can just set up, it's called a LAMP, LAMP, or you can set up CyberPanel. That will get you up and running really quickly, and you will be able to install WordPress right away too. Setting up WordPress on CyberPanel is really easy. Once you have that done, it's really easy to get going. You go ahead and log in, you set up your plugins, you set up your theme. Thank you for watching, guys, and I hope this helps you understand how I start my websites. Start first with doing research on keywords. Like I said, I use SEMrush. SEMrush is the tool that I use for most of my research when it comes to keywords and what to write about. They have multiple tools that help me write content. They help me find how much traffic is going to come from a keyword if I start ranking for it. It's one of the best tools I've ever used in my life. So thank you for watching, and subscribe. We'll talk later. Thank you.